I invest my money in a riskier way and want my 368,000 euro portfolio to grow significantly. And maybe that was a mistake, but maybe not. Because even during the market crash, I bought in heavily and just last month invested another 8,000 euro, which now seems to be paying off quite well again. You'll find out exactly what I invested in, how much, why, and how my investments are performing. Right now on Northern Finance, my name is Alex Black. And I always think it's really important to be open, honest, and truly transparent. And through these videos where I show you my real numbers, challenges, and opportunities every month, I hope to do exactly that, plain and simple. If you're enjoying this and want to see more, take a moment to leave a like and subscribe, and feel free to share the video with your friends. I always see that in the back end, and it brings me an incredible amount of joy every time I see it. Let's start right at the beginning. As you can see, the current value of my portfolio is 368,000 euros. And if we look at it on the chart, we can see that it recently dropped sharply and then went back up again. On April 7, our portfolio value was just 323,000 euros. And as you can see, we've added 45,000 euros in just 3 weeks since then. We're definitely on a real roller coaster ride again right now, no doubt about it. And while the MSCI World is still down since the beginning of last month till today, and as you can see since the start of the year, we also have a 10.4% drop. Bitcoin has performed much better, even though it's supposedly the riskier asset. Over the year, it's still down 6.9%, but last month after the stock market crash, we saw a very strong recovery, which we didn't see in the MSCI World. And I can clearly notice that in my own portfolio as well, with the high crypto position. And as you can also see from the green triangles on the chart, I of course bought more Bitcoin. In April, that was once for 3,000 euros, and then also exactly at the lowest point. Yeah, you almost never really have that kind of luck. Otherwise, I always honestly feel like I buy at the absolute peak. But this time I was lucky and bought 0.043 Bitcoin for 3,000 euros. So currently 131,000 euros are invested in Bitcoin and another 35,000 in 107 MicroStrategy shares, which is basically also Bitcoin. Altogether, the crypto portion of my portfolio now amounts to 168,000 euros. By the way, I didn't buy any new MicroStrategy shares last month, and for once they've actually performed positively. But as you can see, they're still extremely volatile. Last month we went from a low of just $237 to over $380 per share, which is a significant and substantial increase. Really incredible. Right now, strategy shares make up 9.7% of my total portfolio, and that's more than enough for me at this point. I'm also glad the loss is now relatively small, around 4,000 to 5,000 euros, because it used to be over 40, but the buy and hold strategy seems to be paying off again. So 3,000 euros went into new crypto last month, but where did the remaining 5,000 euros go? Because while crypto as an asset class offers my portfolio return opportunities, its high share of 45% of the total portfolio undoubtedly makes it riskier. However, the next investments help balance out this and provide a nice cash flow. These were two areas, as usual, ETFs and P2P loans. And we'll start with the P2P loans because in my opinion, that's much more exciting. For the first time in years, we invested new money in Mintos, specifically 500 euros. That brings my total investment to 2,790 euros. And this time I'm not just limited to investing in loans like before. I find the bonds particularly attractive right now. There are two interesting ones here. First, an unsecured bond from Credit Feel, whom I visited in Mexico. They have an incredibly good business model because they only grant loans to government employees and can automatically deduct the loan amount from their salary every month. However, the bond is unsecured, and then there is a secured bond from Easy Debt Service, which, as you can see, yields a fixed 12% interest rate, has a 1-year term, and holds senior claims in case something goes wrong, which I personally find to be very good indeed. Right now, interest rates are looking good again. For example, Watu Credit offers 15.6% over a term of just under 2 years. And for shorter durations, you can still earn 12 to 13%, like with MFO and ID Finance. I've been funding them for years, earning solid returns, which is why I've reinvested another 500 euros. The link to Mintos with an extra bonus, which you won't find anywhere else, and my new experience report are linked below in the video description. As mentioned there, I will continue to expand the investment over the next few months, and to balance out the risks of the stock market, or as some would say, the Trump risk, I need steady cash flow. And I'm increasing that not only through Mintos, but also through Monefit. Here I have also invested 500 euros in new consumer loans at 7.25% per year. With that, I am now at almost 12,000 euros in total and earn 1.64 euros in interest every day. On the first of the month, there's even more, and I can withdraw my money at any time. The link, on-site visit and review are also linked below in the video description, just like all the other platforms we're talking about today. After that, I invested another 500 euros in business loans on Debitum, bringing my total investment to under 9,000 euros at 12.5% interest. The new money mainly went into the Latvian Forest Development Fund, and the founder and now former CEO Janis Upenieks, who was still working for Bono during the on-site visit, has now suddenly become State Secretary at the Ministry of Finance in Latvia. I'd say that's not bad at all. I will continue to invest with Debitum and will also be on site again soon, which should be exciting. I went ahead and withdrew 1,914 euros from Estate Guru just as planned. The investment is performing better again, especially with the recoveries, but I want to reallocate the position as planned specifically to Ventus Energy. Here I'm investing in energy projects, and these currently offer the highest interest rates in my portfolio on the market, 18% plus cashback. You can only invest in increments of 1,000 euros, not from 100 or 1 euro. Accordingly, I had to add another 100 euros to make it an even 2,000 euros. As you can see, I currently have 8,025 euros invested, have already made a profit of a little over 1,000 euros and achieved a return of 19.7%. Currently, there are only 2 projects that are open. All the others are already funded, so we'll just invest in both of them now. It's also interesting that the interest rates have dropped a bit from 18% to 17%, but for me that's still attractive enough. If we click on the project, we again see a lot of details, truly exemplary transparency. You can read up on all of them thoroughly, and as always, there's also a PDF available, which is very helpful. I'm now investing 1,000 euros, and we're doing exactly the same with the solar park with batteries for grid balancing, which I have already visited in person, and I always enjoy taking part in projects like this. As always, the link to the on-site visit, the review, and the bonus for your registration can be found below in the video description. I also invested another 1,000 euros at Loanch after visiting the lender on site in Malaysia. The link is below, and overall I made 524.98 euros in passive income from P2P loans in April, pretty solid, just by letting my money work for me. Let's also take a look at how this has developed over the past months and years, which I always find very exciting. And this income continues to rise steadily. All in all, I have invested more than 2,500 euros in new P2P loans and reallocated almost 2,000 euros. That brings us to the last investment, which was my 2 ETFs. I bought the iShares Core MSCI World for 1,237 euros, as well as the emerging markets version for 1,225 euros. So a total of 2,462 euros invested in ETFs, once again with the consistently lowest order fees at Freedom24, where I have now built up a portfolio that is currently worth 82,000 euros. So this is what my overall portfolio looks like. I have 45% invested in crypto, 28% in ETFs, and 19% in P2P loans. And by continuing to buy Bitcoin, the portfolio is definitely, without a doubt, becoming more risky. Especially in the current phase, this could really backfire and drag everything down. If Trump sends the stock markets tumbling again, you never really know what might happen. But honestly, should I care if Trump crashes the market again? Actually, I'd almost be happy about it. I took advantage of the last crash, and I'll definitely do the very same thing again next time. The world didn't end last time, and P2P loans also carry their own risks. But the cash flow is really quite pleasant for an investor's peace of mind and provides reassurance during such turbulent times, as we can also see from the percentage returns. P2P is the only investment that has delivered a positive return this year. The money keeps coming in no matter what I do and no matter how Bitcoin or the ETFs are performing. And that's simply a great thing, which is why I now have more than 70,000 euros invested in P2P, or 19% of my portfolio. If you also look at the chart of the portfolio's development, it becomes even clearer that this portfolio is really risky. At its peak, the portfolio was worth 374,000 euros with 85,000 euros in gains in mid-January, but by April 8, we were at only 8,000 euros. That's 77,000 euros that just vanished into thin air. But 41,000 euros of that have come back, and since I'm now depositing more, the portfolio is definitely becoming riskier in the short term because prices could still drop much further. But in the long run, that's exactly what separates successful investors from unsuccessful ones. It's the ability to consistently keep going during tough times, even with large amounts of money. And I'm looking forward to the coming months, no matter whether things get tough or not. Here's my question. How much did you really invest last month? Did the crash unsettle you, or did you buy more? Let me know in the comments below. I'm looking forward to the exchange, and with that, I wish you good returns. No matter how you invest, see you next time.